is going on, everybody? Oh, gonna be talking some prize picks, some better picks. Already got quite a few tickets locked in here today. Hopefully, there are plenty of options still available on the board that have not been bumped that I can share with you guys here for free today. That I've locked in myself, that I've sent over to my VIP members. Always going to be the goal on these live streams. I'm going to try to give out as many free plays as I possibly can at the exact lines that I got them at before any bumps occur, right? We're going to avoid the bumps, find the best value. We're going to be talking to prize picks and better picks. Better picks, you can get a $250 sweat-free first entry with my promo code KJKDFS. We'll talk about that on the second half of the stream. Prizepicks is the most popular app, so I tend to start things off there, and then we'll switch on over to Better Picks. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Also, if there's anything more that you'd like to see on these streams, if you've been tuning into them and you have any suggestions and or maybe you think I'm doing it perfect, let me know. That would be fantastic in the chat so that I can continue to improve these live streams. So, like I said, ideally, we're just going to go through. I put Jalen Brunson on the thumbnail. I had a lot of interest in his points at 26.5. I was hoping to be able to promote that play. Since I came on stream, it is no longer available. It's been bumped up to 27.5. So we're going to go ahead and avoid promoting that play due to the bump. But I have plenty more plays, so don't worry. I tend to try to put someone on the thumbnail that I've already had some interest in, and a certain prop, and that was the one today, I should say. It's got bumped to 27.5, so we're gonna go ahead and avoid that. But I do have plenty more that I like here. So, what else is on the board that I've been looking at? We have quite a few fantasy score props here today. Kevin Durant's a guy we can go ahead and lead things off with. I like his under here, 45.5 fantasy score. He's taking on a Boston Celtics squad here tonight that has not been too friendly to opposing power forwards. They've done a great job of slowing down opposing power forwards. There's a bunch of different data points telling me to lean towards the under here tonight. One of them is the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, guys. If you haven't tuned into these live streams or you haven't seen me talk about them, it is a fantastic tool that, once again, they've hooked me up with a promo code that will allow you to get a nice discount if you're interested in this tool. This is going to pull in all sorts of different market data from sports books with millions of dollars invested into lines. And in this case, I talked about this in one of my previous streams if you listen all the time. We have 3 different data points telling us to go with Kevin Durant's under here tonight on the fantasy score. You can see DraftKings Sportsbooks, right? It's factoring in it has all the odds factored in for all of the components that go into the fantasy score prop on Prizepicks. So what are those components on Prizepicks? If you aren't familiar with the Prizepicks fantasy scoring format, this is exactly how they break it down, guys, right? You get 1 point for every point the player scores, 1.2 for every rebound, 1.5 for every assist, 3 points for the blocks, the steals, and -1 for the turnovers. So anytime that there is a line posted for every single one of these components, the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer is going to pull in that data and put together, an exact fantasy score of where this player is projected, factoring in all of those statistics, right? So there's odds with millions of dollars invested into 3 different sportsbooks telling us to take the under on Kevin Durant. I also tend to use a bunch of FanDuel fantasy projection models. If you've tuned into my content in the past, there's times I don't agree with the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer as far as fantasy score. But when I have projection models telling me his under is the right play and 3 different data points on the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer of actual sports books telling me the under is the play, right? That's a lot of different data points telling me this fantasy score is set too high. So if you're interested in this tool, guys, that is the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. KJKDFS will get you 25% off, and that's an explanation as to exactly why it's a good play, right? It's all of those different data points brought into a fantasy score, factoring in all of those things we just discussed. There's lines on DraftKings for the points, the rebounds, the assists, the blocks, the steals, and the turnovers for Kevin Durant. They're all being factored in. They're saying he's going to score 44.6 fantasy points. BetMGM, same thing. They're saying 43.7 fantasy points. Bovada, same thing, 43.8 fantasy points. So it's not a huge difference. There's never going to be a huge difference oftentimes, guys, because Prizepicks is just so good at setting these fantasy score props, right? They're not going to set them like 10 off a lot of times. But in this case, you can see, we're getting like a 1-2 point edge on theirs. And then we factor in all of the matchup data for this matchup taking on a Celtics squad. There's a lot of different things telling us that KD's going to have a difficult time here tonight. I could read some of them off for you guys. Once again, these are all factored in to my projections, all these things I discussed, right? So let's talk about exactly how they've been faring against his position. Once again, Durant's power forward, right? Boston is only allowing 29 fantasy points per game to opposing power forwards. That's really, really good stuff. They've been locked down on that opposing power forward position. So, right, all of these things, that was kind of a long explanation for the first pick on the channel, but I've already put all of my research, all of these data points I'm talking about. I've already scanned the entire market, all the things that go into my process, and then I have a bunch of more picks, so we can speed things up as we go along here. But that's a good example of all the different things that go into my process when I'm factoring in a good prop on Prizepicks. Durant, there's just a ton of different things telling us to lean towards his under here tonight at the line. They've got him set. It's a 218 over under, guys. That's a pretty low total in today's modern day NBA. Like, you can see the Clippers Bulls game, 214. Or I'm sorry, it is a 225.5 over under. That's a 218 line in favor of the Boston Celtics. Misread there, but 225. My point being, it's not the highest total, right? There's going to be a lot of games with much higher totals than that. For example, tonight, this Dallas OKC game with a 234.5 over under. That's kind of more the modern day NBA. Those are the type of totals that we're going to see. So, hey, that'll be our first guy, Durant. I like the under here. Explained all those things, right? You pull up the last 5 charts. It looks nice, pretty green the last couple times out. I really could care less about these last 5 charts. That has nothing to do with my process. But, hey, I bring it up for visuals. So, that'll be our first guy, guys. We got 55 people in here, 11 likes. If we can get this thing up over 50 likes, that'd be greatly appreciated. I'll be trying to drop as many slips as I can here today. A lot of times I've been doing 1 6-pick flex and 1 6-pick dynamic play on Betr on these streams. If I can do even more with lines that haven't been bumped, I'd love to do that for you guys. So let's see if we can do it. We're going to just keep scanning. I got my Discord pulled up on my side screen here with props I've already locked in. So I should be able to just kind of go along. I know Damian Lillard's another guy that I have interest in some fantasy score. I love promoting fantasy score props on the channel because oftentimes these are the ones that actually you guys can tell. These other props that aren't fantasy score props get bumped like crazy. Lillard, I lean the over here tonight. Everything we just talked about with Durant, right? It's all factored into my process here with Lillard. As far as Philadelphia and their statistics against opposing point guards, not quite as friendly, and I do have, or I'm sorry, not quite as good. They've been giving up quite a few fantasy points, and I do have Dame projected in the mid-40s here. They've got him at 40.5, so he's put up 44.6 over his last 5 in this case example. I do think that's a pretty accurate representation of where I'd expect him to end up here tonight. 44, 45 fantasy points is right where I've got him projected. In this game, right? Game environment, all these things we're looking at a 219 over under, 7.5 point spread in favor of Milwaukee. When we're taking overs, we'd prefer an upper tempo game, more possessions, up tempo game environment. When we're taking unders on players, we prefer a not so fast game environment. Lillard's putting up 1.17 fantasy points per minute. In the Prizepicks fantasy scoring format, he's playing 35 minutes per game. We look at the recent trends for this Milwaukee team in their rotation. Let's go ahead and break down his recent trends. You can see he's really getting up there in games that stay close. It's more so 38 minutes here, 42 against the Clippers. It's these blowouts where he's getting taken out early. Golden State ended 125-190, very clear blowout there. So obviously, he's going to get taken off the floor a little bit early in that game. Sacramento last time out, final score was 129-94. Another blowout, right? He's going to get pulled early. So really, he's playing in the upper 30s in competitive ball games. If he does play in the upper 30s here tonight, do have him surpassing this fantasy score at the 40.5 line. It's the same thing we talked about with Durant, right? The edge isn't huge. Like Durant's at 45.5. I've got him getting more so like 40, let's say. Lillard's at 40.5. I've got him more so getting like 45. So it's going to be like 3-4 points oftentimes that the player is going to go over and under on. It's just that's how good they are at setting these lines now, right? So Lillard, I'm leaning towards the over here tonight in the fantasy scoring department. I like that play. Already did all of my deep dive research on him. Maxi's another guy that the other guy in Fantasy Optimizer just so happens to agree with my projections and all my models. He's at 40.5 here, taking on Milwaukee. Do lean towards the under here because of a few things. Obviously, where the line's set, right? Also, Milwaukee's been really tough on opposing point guards, especially scoring reliant point guards. I hate to say it, Tyrese Maxey can be pretty scoring reliant at times. And they just really have not been giving up a lot of points to opposing point guards. You can look at his game logs. You see 17, 24, 33 points. And then as far as what else he's doing, only 2 rebounds, 4 assists, no blocks and steals. 2 steals in this game, but only 3 assists, 2 rebounds. He's just a very scoring-reliant player. He can get buckets, but when you're factoring in the Prizepicks fantasy scoring format and how they break it down, it's going to be very difficult for him to surpass this without going out there and putting up 30-plus real-life points, which he's certainly capable of doing. But, I mean, like, let's look at where his points prop is set here tonight, right? For Tyrese Maxey, we can just bring up the actual lines. He's at 26.5. So his actual points line set at 26.5. His fantasy scores all the way up to 40.5. Once again, I don't always agree with the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, but when I do, it makes me even more happy because that's more data points for me to be going off and reliable data points, right? Millions of dollars in sports books data invested into this optimizer, and they're agreeing with me on this one too, right? Tyrese Maxey's under fantasy score is the second best play on the board according to them. The top play would be his under 9.5 rebounds and assists. So if you wanted to lock in the rebounds and assists, that's perfectly fine. For me, the fantasy score is so inflated that I'm going to go ahead and lock that in. I mean, he's a player. His ceiling's massive, guys. All of these guys, like Durant, obviously is capable of going over. Like, if you think I'm not aware of that, like, duh, it's Kevin Durant. He can easily go out there and drop like 50 real-life points, but you're looking at where the line is set in the market. You're looking at the matchups, all of these data points that I'm bringing in, right? And you're going to get the edge. It's going to be like 3-4 fantasy points off. Oftentimes, the edge is on the under. Is Tyrese Maxey capable of going out there and putting up 70 fantasy points? Yes. He's also capable of going out there and putting up about 30. His floor is very low, like I said, with all these things factored in with the Prizepicks fantasy scoring format and how scoring reliant he is. I mean, he's a guy that he seems to be all or nothing. And it's reflected in his last 5, actually. He's gone way over when he's gone over. He's gone up to 50 twice. But then when he's going under, only 23 and 32. Floor is pretty low, man. His ceiling's high. He's a very versatile player. He's up and down all over the place. But in this matchup, I certainly do lean the under. Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizers agreeing with me, right? All those different data points we are looking at. And once again, Milwaukee's been pretty tough on opposing point guards. Also, there's no more Joel Embiid right now, right? He's been out for an extended period of time. This isn't like new if you actually follow the NBA, but that's going to make it a little bit tougher on him as he is the second option when Embiid's out on the floor, right? There's all that defensive attention going towards Embiid. That's going to open him up for a couple more of those free open looks. When he's the number 1 option, things get a little bit different, right? The defensive attention, I mean, you got Kyle Lowry, Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre, Tobias Harris. It's like a pretty decently well-rounded lineup, but if we're being honest, like, who's the number 1 guy the opposing team's going to try to slow down? It's Tyrese Maxey, so he's going to see even more defensive attention with no one being on the floor. All this stuff's factored in my projections, but, you know, it's just pointing it out. A lot of people just say there's no Embiid, his usage is going to go up. Yeah, sure it is, but also the defensive attention is going to be all over him. So 219 over under. Not the fastest paced game in the world either for Maxey. You could factor that in. I know we're taking a Lillard over on the other side, but just looking at all the data points here, right? So those are 3 fantasy score props I like. We like the under on Durant. We like the over on Lillard. We like the under on Maxey. And these are all plays that I've actually locked into tickets myself already, guys. I've already done the deep dive research. I already sent them to the VIP. So we're just mixing and matching plays that I've already locked in. There's already been a bunch of extensive research put into these. I'm just coming on the channel and sharing them with you. Another fantasy score prop that I think we should be looking at tonight is Daniel Gafford. There is going to be no Luka Doncic tonight. Gafford has been crushing this line. If you've been watching my content for quite some time, I'm a broken record. Blocks and steals are huge for fantasy score. Look at this guy's blocks and steals. It is ridiculous. Now there's no Luka. His usage should go up even more. And this Oklahoma City squad's been absolutely terrible versus opposing centers. I mean, they're giving up a ton of fantasy points versus opposing centers. I could pull it up right now and read off the list for you guys. They're giving up over 40 fantasy points per game to opposing centers. They're giving up over 6 field goals, and they're giving up over 11 rebounds. This is a dream matchup if you are Daniel Gafford, and now you have no Luka Doncic, which is just going to make your usage go up even more, right? The blocks and steals is what I was getting at. Ridiculous. 7 blocks, 2 steals. 2 blocks, 1 steal. 4 blocks, 0 steals. 1 block, 1 steal. 3 blocks, 1 steal. You get 3 fantasy points every single block and steal that he records, right? So, quick math, 7 blocks last time. He didn't even do anything as far as like rebounding, scoring, or assisting the basketball, and he's already up to 21 fantasy points. It's ridiculous. Is he going to get 7 blocks tonight? Probably not. But do expect him to get some more points, some more rebounds, and some more assists. With there being no Luka on the floor, he should be more heavily involved in this offense. So he's another guy. Dream matchup, 27.5. Once again, the last 5 charts look real pretty in green. I really could care less about that, but it is kind of reflecting his recent production in the fantasy scoring department, and this really is a fantastic matchup for him against this OKC squad. So we like the over there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 different props. Let's lock in 2 more to complete a full 6-pick flex to start off this stream. How many people we got in here with me right now? 73, 25 likes, guys. 1, thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. 2, if you haven't hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, please do so. It is free. It takes 2 seconds to do. That notification bell will let you know anytime that I go live so you don't miss any future live streams, so you can lock in with me live on the streams and beat bumps. And you get notified anytime I upload my videos. Also, I just really appreciate it. It helps get the content out to more people, help me help more people. And every one of these plays are VIP plays that I've already locked in myself already today, guys. Here I'm sharing them with you live on the stream. Just should mention, if you do want access to every single one of my plays as soon as I place them, the VIP package is going to be where it's at. That's going to give you access to my Discord. I pinned it at the top already, the VIP package and the Betr link for you to get that $250 sweat-free entry. So those are 2 things. If you're really enjoying the content and you want more content from me, well, the VIP package is where you're going to want to be. That's going to give you the Discord. And if you go to my YouTube community page, you can kind of see like what's going on. So we got a Betr sweep not last night, but the night before, using all these same concepts that I discuss here on the stream. So that would be where you want to go if you want access to literally every single one of my tickets as soon as I place them. I get asked all the time what comes with that. It's really quite simple. I'm doing all the work. I'm finding the value. I'm sending it immediately. If players are bumped, I'm providing pivots as well. Immediately, more good value. So we're avoiding those bumps, getting the best value. I'm doing everything I can to teach you how to play optimally on these apps. So let's continue along. Let's find 2 more plays for you guys to complete a full 6-pick flex. So those are 4 that I've already locked in. What else do we have here? Josh Hart's another guy that's popping to me at 33.5. I'm not sure that I really want to promote him yet, just because we do have some pending injury news in this game. Anthony Simmons got added to the injury list here, so that could lead to like more of a blowout. I'm not one to try to predict blowouts. That's another thing I'll say constantly if you ask me in my Discord or in the comment section on my channel. There's going to be games with like a 1-point spread that turn into a blowout, guys, and there's going to be games with a 14-point spread that turn into a blowout. My best advice for you would be don't try to predict blowouts at all. Oftentimes, all of the Vegas data, all of the data points that I am using throughout the day are going to indicate a lot of these things for me. So, for instance, if like Luka Doncic is playing who's a bad team, let's say the Washington Wizards. I like to pick on the Wizards for some reason, probably because they're 11-54 on the season. So I think that's a pretty good example. You know, let's say Luka Doncic's playing them and it's like a 14-point spread. Luka Doncic's PRA line set at 54.5, and it's like minus 150 juice on the under. The average person's like, why the heck are these sports books telling us that Luka's not going to go off against the Wizards? And the answer in that line is a good chance they're reflecting the possibility of a blowout, right? His line set at 54.5. It's Luka Doncic can go out in there in the first half and put up like 40 PRA and then just be chilling third quarter, get benched out of the game, right? So all of these things that you think that you understand and know basketball and stuff is reflected in the market. I would encourage you to learn the market, learn all these things, and That's kind of how you're going to have an edge at doing this stuff. So that's just a good example I like to throw out there. But let's find two more plays for you guys here. The Josh Hart is going to be a stay away for me as of now. I mean, I locked it in. I like this prop. I'm just saying live on the stream. That news came out after. There's a free pick for you, I guess. I like the over here if you're listening closely. I have played that. It's just for the stream. I'm going to go ahead and stay away just because that news did just drop. Let's find some other props that I like here. Today on this slate, Al Horford was the guy that was popping for me earlier because it got taken off the board. I am not surprised in the least. Al Horford's assist over 2.5 was posted temporarily for a very brief moment, and I was able to lock that in. There was some really good value. Oftentimes, those low assist props, like yesterday, Nikola Vucevic was my play of the day, and I posted it immediately in my Discord and said, lock this in ASAP because it's going to get removed. He was at the same line, at the 2.5 line, with some good value on the over. Another example of like something you can't get on stream, right? This was up for 10 minutes on the board. I don't know how long that Al Horford prop was up because I just got busy trying to go on stream, but ended with 3 assists, like no surprise. There's heavy juice on the over there. Cash. Day before, Kawhi Leonard under fantasy score cash. He had to leave early that game. But anyways, point being, when there's really good value, it's there and it's gone. So there's an example of a prop that was there and gone yesterday. Al Horford, it happened again today. I was able to take the over 2.5 assists. I was going to promote it to you guys, but it's gone. So let's find another play that I like here on the board. We talked about that Brunson play getting bumped. Giannis point and assist was popping to me earlier. They have it too high here. It got bumped down. So another example, they had it at 39.5 points and assists. The line should have been at 38.5. They've bumped it down now. So no worries. I got plenty of more props here that I've already locked in. So let's find another one that hasn't been bumped. I think Dante's probably been bumped is my assumption here. Yes, I got the under at 24.5. That's gotten bumped down. What else do we like here for you guys on the stream? Josh Hart we can go back to should we need to. He hasn't got bumped, has he? Same number. Yeah, so Hart could be a backup play. Like I said, I do like it. It's just if I could promote something else to you guys, I think I'd prefer to do that. Okay, so what else do we like here? We talked about those guys. Tatum, fantasy scores too inflated as well. So, hey, let's continue with the fantasy scores. He's at 49.5. I lean the under here as well. Once again, very similar to Kevin Durant, right? They've got him set at 49.5. I've got him in the mid-40s. So we talked about how KD's a little bit too high with that 45. We got him right around 40. Same thing with Tatum, 49.5. Jaylen Brown is listed as questionable. I'm leaning that Jaylen plays here today. If he's ruled out, it's going to kind of be that same maxi concept that I talked about, where Tatum's usage will go up, but also the defense is going to be all over him. So I'm okay with kind of locking this in now, and should that news break, I still feel pretty decent about it. But yeah, Jaylen Brown's listed as questionable. This is a nationally televised game on ESPN or TNT or one of the two. I would anticipate that Jaylen plays. Latest report on him is he has a back injury listed as questionable. He was ruled out for Tuesday's win over the Jazz with a strain. Absence was believed to be for maintenance purposes and the second leg of a back-to-back set. However, he's appearing questionable again, so watch it up until tip-off. I lean that it kind of was a maintenance thing. Now they're just listing him again as a precautionary thing. Like, should he warm up and not feel good, they can have the option to rule him out. But I think he's going to be a good full go here tonight. And I do lean the Tatum under here with that factored in. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different props. Let's find one more and lock in our 6-pick flex, and then we'll pivot on over to better picks as well, guys. And I'll give you guys some better picks on the stream, which is a very valuable app. If you don't have it already, make sure you get it ASAP. They'll give you that better no sweater option. We'll pivot over to there, but the reason it's so valuable is because there are no pushes. So, like, for instance, you see how Grayson Allen is set at 22 even here on Prizepicks. They've gone ahead and they've set it as an even line because they're saying there's either value on the over 21.5 or value on the under 22.5. They're just going to set that as a push line even so that users can't beat them too badly. There is no pushes on Better Picks, so that's why I really like their app. That's why I would really highly advise you get it, and we'll do some comparison here shortly. over there. But in the meantime, we got 88 people, 34 likes, guys. Get this thing up to 50 likes, and I'm going to drop a full 6-pick flex. I am going to find a 6th pick that I've already locked in, lock this in on my side screen, send it into my VIP real quick before I pull it up on the stream, just out of courtesy because they do pay me, and they get access to all my picks first, right? So, but we have a solid 5 here. We talked about that Josh Hart pick as another option for you guys here, and they're all fantasy score props, which is fantastic because that should allow you guys that are watching these free streams and free videos to actually tail, hopefully without crazy bumps. And the edge is big enough to where as long as they don't get bumped too crazy, I'd still say to go ahead and take the props. So let's lock this thing in. What is the 6th one that I want to say though to you guys? We just really need one more. I know there was another Brunson play. There was a Booker play I was looking at. Booker still looks available. Brunson's been bumped. So I think the last one's probably going to be a Booker prop. Let me just make sure the value's still there for him. That the market hasn't shifted or anything crazy, but I'm sure it's still a good play. Nah, it shifted a little bit. Probably not the play I want to go with. Probably not. Let's pivot to something else for you guys. All the non-fantasy score props that I have locked in that I said I was going to promote to you guys have been bumped, like literally, which is fine. That's part of the game, but that's also a very good key indicator that your process is like on point. You know, when you're beating bumps, you're consistently having to pivot away because props are getting bunted. Props are getting bumped from where I promoted them. That's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It can be frustrating, but it's not a bad thing. Is Vooch still available? Nope, bumped. I got the under 11.5 rebounds. He's been bumped down. Shocker. I had some interest in Shea. I'm pretty sure he's been bumped. I'm sure all of his props. Hold the phone. This might be the one. This might be the one, people. Yep. Okay. I'm going to promote this. I've got exposure to this prop on multiple platforms at the number that Prizepicks has it at. All right. So did we reach our like goal? I still have to lock this in. We have 44. We need like 6 more likes, and I'm dropping a full 6-pick flex. All I'm going to do right now is actually lock it in on the side on my Prizepicks account, and then I'll pull it up for you guys. So what have we discussed? We have discussed Kevin Durant. We have discussed Jason Tatum. We have discussed Lillard, Maxey, Gafford. So we've discussed Maxey and Lillard. Boom, boom. That's 4. 5th one we talked about was Gafford, and the 6th one I'm gonna lock in right now and send into the VIP real quick. Give them like 30, 60 seconds to lock in before you guys. And then pull it up and we'll lock in here together. So get your phone, tablet, a laptop, whatever you use to play Prizepicks ready. And we'll lock in together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different plays, 6 solid plays. All 6 plays I've already locked in. We're just going to do a different mixture with props that have been bumped. And lock them in together here. So send this into them real quick here. Boom. Screenshot. Looks like we might... we got 49 likes, so we need one more like, and I'll pull up the full 6-pick flex, guys, for you. So be ready to lock in, because I'm going to send to them right now as we speak. In the meantime, I'm going to give them 30 seconds, so I can answer any questions you have in the chat right now. Would be a great time to ask me questions if you have any. KJK DFS live stream. 6-pick flex. Send. Okay, boom, send. All right. I'm going to give them a solid 60 seconds. We're going to give them 1 minute to lock in before, and then I will pull it up on the screen. If one of the props gets bumped, guys, just let me know. I can pivot with you live on stream. Like, that's what I do in my chat all the time. So, like, for instance, this is the VIP. I'll give you a sneak peek right now, actually, because we can discuss, like, this is all relative, right? So, I already gave you guys some props, but here's an example, right? This happens all the time. Plays get bumped, right? So, here, this was a ticket I locked in. So, we've already discussed a couple of these plays. I talked about OG got bumped. Chet's got bumped earlier. I think you could block in that Chet play again. He was up to, like, 16.5. Tyus got bumped. So we saw a bunch of bumps happen on these plays, right? The Durant play at 34.5, I believe, has gotten bumped. I'm sure we're talking about his under fantasy because that's another good alternative. Yeah, so you can see Durant's now at 33.5 points and rebounds. And there's no more value in that prop. They've already bumped it and taken away the value. This happens all day, every day. That's why I provide a premium option. That there's a cost associated because I put a lot of time and hours into it, but it's going to be well worth the value because you're going to get beat in the bumps like crazy. And then when the bumps happen, right, and you need a pivot, I provide those. So like in this case, right, I get a bunch of members tagging me, check up bumped. We're going to pivot here. I like the Shea over fantasy score at the time. That is not the prop I'm going to talk about here shortly, so don't lock this in. Shea's gotten bumped. He was at 50.5. OG was at 24.5 on the fantasy as well. So they've both gotten bumped. I wouldn't play him anymore. Don't take the bumps, right? OG was at 24. Shea was at 50. We go to the Prizepicks board now. OG is at 25.5, and Shea's at 51. I'm going to talk about another Shea prop that I like here shortly, where that has not been bumped up. So we're going to play that instead of the fantasy score prop. But there's a little sneak peek behind the paywall as to all the stuff that's going on over there. Bunch of different value to be offered over there if you're interested. And once again, I pinned that at the top, and that is Patreon. So I just want to make sure that everyone knows that is an option. If you're really serious and you're really looking to learn how to profit on all of these apps, the optimal slip type, bankroll management, beating bumps, all that stuff, that's where you're going to want to go. If you're not that serious, you're just having some fun with it, not playing every day, just looking for the free content, that's perfectly fine. That's why I try to do this as much as I can as well. But nothing beats the VIP as far as just getting access to me 24/7, constant value, constant plays, constantly beating the bumps. All right, let's pull up this 6-pick flex right now. Get ready to lock in, guys. Let me refresh my screen to make sure that we have all of my entries up to date here. And this is what we got. So we have the Kevin Durant under 45.5 fantasy score, Jason Tatum under 49.5 fantasy score, Tyrese Maxey under 40.5 fantasy score, Damian Lillard over 40.5 fantasy score, Daniel Gafford over 27.5 fantasy score, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 30.5 points. That is the prop I was talking about. Someone asked, actually, True King God, would you take Shai over 30.5? Yes, I would. He's at 31.5 a lot of places, and he's at 30.5 others. I would take the over at 30.5. I would not take the over at 31. I would not take the over at 31.5. It's got to be that 30.5 number for me to take the over. If it's 31.5, I'm leaning more towards the under, but I'm probably just staying away here today. I like the over 30.5. I liked the over fantasy at 50.5. Like I said, that got bumped up, so don't play that. Just play the points at 30.5. Hopefully none of these got bumped. If they did, let me know, and I'll help you guys out with the pivot option. But I think we should be good. I've got it pulled up here on my side monitor to see if there's any bumps. I think we should be good, and we're going to talk some better picks here. Next, if you're enjoying the stream, if you enjoy the streams, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. You won't miss any future streams. When I go live, you'll get notified. When I upload new videos, you'll get notified. And let's talk some better picks, man. Like I said, I've already got a bunch of props locked in over there. So my hope is to just go along and give you guys actual plays I've already played, right? If they haven't been bumped, that's going to be the goal here. And we want to be detecting value that we can get on better picks that we can't get on Prizepicks. It's always going to be the goal, right, guys? That's why it's so valuable to have multiple apps. Please let me know if you locked in the 6-pick flex and if there were any bumps, guys. I would really appreciate that. I just want to make sure everyone was able to tail. If you could let me know that. in the chat, I would really greatly appreciate it. We have 80 likes. I'm sorry, 80 people in here, 57 likes. Gonna drop another ticket here with you guys. I've already used all of my 6-pick dynamic options over on Betr. They've now limited it to where you can only play 5 6-pick dynamic plays per day. However, they changed their app to where now 5-pick dynamic plays and 6-pick dynamic plays are optimal, similar to what we talk about on Prizepicks, where 5-pick flexes and 6-pick flexes are both the same implied odds per individual prop. So, I can't promote any more 6-pick dynamic plays to you guys, unfortunately, but I can give you a 5-pick dynamic play, which is still optimal. I do not think playing Durant and Tatum under fantasy is a great idea. I'm quite sure one of them goes over. Well, Dimitri, if you listened earlier, you would have gotten a lot of reasoning from me as to why I like their unders. They are certainly 2 players that are capable of going over. However, their lines are inflated, right? Their lines are inflated based on the base projection. So these players have ceilings and they have floors. So yes, Durant is a guy that's capable of scoring 70 fantasy points. Tatum is a guy that's capable of scoring 70 fantasy points. However, we are always looking for the edge in where their line is setting on the base projection and where they're going to end up. We have Durant going out there and ending up right around like 42, 43. We have Tatum going out there ending up more around like the 46 range. We have Maxey going out there ending up right around more so the 36, 37 range. Lillard more like the 44, 45 range. So, you know, Gafford more towards that 30 range. And then the Shea prop, we're getting some edge on that over 30.5 line. So, yes, Durant is certainly capable. My Durant at 41.5 fantasy, Tatum 47.5, Maxey 39.5. Desmond, my guess is you're looking at better picks right now. That is different than Prizepicks, and it's a different fantasy scoring format. So that is a different ball game, my friend. Don't be just taking the same fantasy props on better picks that I'm promoting on Prizepicks, because they're different fantasy scoring formats. So, all right, let's go on over to better picks. Like I said, I've already used my 5 6-pick dynamic plays and already sent over to the VIP. However, my goal is to just take plays throughout these tickets, right, that I've already locked in and give them to you for free on the channel here today on this stream. And we want to be taking picks ideally with value that we cannot get on Prizepicks on better picks, because Prizepicks is very good at what they do. They are the largest app when it comes to these player prop DFS apps, so they have a very sharp model. They're very good at setting their lines, and they bump things like crazy, and they're very on top of it, right? So better picks is a little bit newer. They're certainly getting better, but they don't have the push lines. So once again, KJK DFS will give you that $250 sweat free. I did a little test earlier, by the way. If you're someone that really wants to use that full $250 for sweat free, you can only do it on 2 or 3 picks, because they are going to limit you on a certain amount of. These aren't actual picks, guys. I'm just pulling these up for an example here. You can see, like, the max entry they're going to allow you to place on a 3-pick perfect play, it says at the top, is $300. So if you wanted to use the full 250 sweat free, like, this would be the one time I'd allow you to place either a 2-pick perfect play or a 3-pick perfect play, because when you sign up with the KJK DFS promo code, your first entry, it's sweat free. So if you lose, you're going to get it back. But outside of that, play all 5-pick dynamic and 6-pick dynamic plays. That's what I'm going to be giving out here. But if you want to pick your 2 favorite for the 250 sweat free option and just go all in, you know, that'd be the one time I'd give you permission to go ahead and do that. But if you've already downloaded the Better Picks app and you're playing, you know, every day now, you want to be playing all 5-pick dynamic and 6-pick dynamic slips. Let's find some plays, man. What's hasn't been bumped over here on Betr that's been bumped on Prizepicks? I know one right off the top of the bat. It's going to be Denny Avija, rebounds. We can see Prizepicks has gone ahead and made this 9.0 even. The reason that they have done that, guys, is because there's good value in Denny's under here today, the 9.5 line. So Prizepicks has gone ahead and bumped it down. They've taken the value out of that prop and said, this is too good of a play. Our users are going to beat us too badly. We're going to go ahead and bump it down so we don't get beaten. However, we can get it on better picks, right? So this is a perfect example of what I discussed with the no pushes. They can bump it down to 8.5. They can bump it up to 10.5. They can just take it off the board, but they cannot set it at an even line like Prizepicks does with that 9.0. No pushes. So that's why Betr is very valuable. That's why I really love this app. Honestly, that's like the best part, is the no pushes are really clutch. So that would be my first one. For Denny, we've already talked about. Brunson's another guy. I said I like the over at 26.5, but he's been bumped up to 27.5 on Prizepicks, right? I had him at as the thumbnail prior to coming on stream here today, and it was because of that points prop I really had a lot of interest in. Don't want to play the over at 27.5, but I do have interest in the over at 26.5, and he is still listed at that number on Betr, right? So another example of good value you can get on Betr that we can't get on Prizepicks. The market is pretty much, let's go ahead and pull it up for you guys. Actually, so you can actually see. We'll pull up OddsJam. If you guys aren't familiar with OddsJam, guys, another sponsor of the program here. It's a fantastic tool to be utilizing. And I'm going to pull up exactly why. This is their sportsbook screen. This is what I really wanted to show you guys. Promo code KJKDFS will get you 35% off this tool, but this is pulling in all of the market data. I have every single sportsbook selected that they're going to allow me to select, which is 182. So I have as many different data points as I can possibly have pulled in here. You can see the market is listing him at 26.8 favoring the over, 26.9 favoring the over on average with all of these different data points, right? He's listed at 26.5 favored on Pinnacle, 27.5 pretty much even odds on FanDuel, 27.5 slightly favored on the under on Ballybet, 26.5 minus 140 on the over on DraftKings, right? So there's very clearly value to be had on the over 26.5 line. And Joseph says Brunson is reduced, by the way. Yes, absolutely. So if you wanted to use the Brunson promotion instead of the 26.5 line, you could certainly do that. But I want to be giving out actual like props at their actual lines on these streams, you know, actual plays. But you can certainly take advantage of that promo. Yes, you can. All the way up to 29.5 on Consumo here, right? So these are all these data points on OddsJam that are being brought in, millions and millions of dollars worth of sportsbook data, right? That we can refer to. That's telling us essentially, and if you want to take note of this, I say these on these streams all the time, but this is just so true. When you do this every day and you become good and well knowledge at kind of how this all works, you start to really understand like how precise these markets are. There's a really solid chance this man, Jalen Brunson, goes out there and scores 27 points even here tonight, right? You can see the average odds pulling in now are now at 27 even with minus 115.2 on the over, which is actually very significant. So you can see there's like slight juice on the under 27.5. They're favoring the over 26.5 all across the market. There's some places that are all the way up to like 28, 29, I guess now. But pretty much they're middling at 27.5 and 26.5 across the entire market. So if you want to put on your little note, paper and pen, Jalen Brunson, 27 points exactly. I'm telling you, man, these markets are crazy precise. There's a solid chance that actually happens tonight. He literally scores 27 even. It happens all the time with these lines and how precise they are, right? So we want to be getting that half-point edge when we can get it. So I just wanted to pull up OddsJam, fantastic tool, and bring in all that market data and explain to you exactly why I like this play at the 26.5 line, right? So let's continue along here with these plays. And those will be our first two. So we like the Denny Avija rebounds. Once again, that's already been bumped on Prizepicks, right? We discussed that. And we like the Denny Avija rebounds, and we like the over 26.5 points on Brunson. And as someone did mention, Brunson, there is a discount available as well. If you're someone that wants to take advantage of that discount, the 23.5 point line, you can certainly put that in, and obviously you're getting even better odds, right? But it's a good play at 26.5. Regardless, and like I said, I'm trying to give you guys like actual props without the discounts. And then if you want to use the discounts to replace your least favorite prop, you certainly can do so. All right, so that'll be our first two here. What else do we like here on Betr that we can't get on Prizepicks? Those two. And what else have I locked in over here? Malik Beasley is a guy that actually I think you might be able to get on Prizepicks too. I'm not sure. No, okay, he's at 11.5 here. This is where he should be listed on Prizepicks, so they've actually gone ahead and corrected that. I did see him popping a little bit, but I didn't have quite enough value surrounding him to lock him in on Prizepicks earlier, I don't believe, but I locked him in on Betr. There's good value on the under 12.5. That's where they've got him listed. He's listed at 11.5, like across the entire market essentially, and then 12.5, they're favoring the under. So it's a very similar situation to what we just talked with Brunson, right? The plays on the over at the 26.5. With Beasley, the plays probably on the over at 11.5, but on the under at 12.5. So there's another prop that we can't get on Prizepicks that we can get on Betr. Take the under 12.5 on Beasley. So we got Denny Avija, Jalen Brunson, Beasley. Once again, I can't lock in another 6 picks, so we're going to have to go with a 5 pick, but 5 picks are still optimal, so we're cool with it now. What's our other 2 here? Like I said, ideally, I'd love to give you guys picks I've already locked in. These are 3 that I have already locked in. So I love that. What else do we have? I'm not really seeing any popping. Paul Reed is another guy over here. Betr has his line posted too high. It's inflated. Paul Reed's PRA is at 17.5 across the entire market. That's where Prizepicks has him listed. That's where he should be listed. Betr has gone ahead and listed him at 18.5. It's too high. So there's going to be some value on that under. The PRA prop especially, anytime it's listed an entire point higher and or lower, it's pretty significant. Points, rebounds, and assists factored into the prop, So we like the under here at the 18.5 number. Reason being, once again, he's listed at 17.5 across the entire market. Betr has just gone ahead and listed him 1 too high here. So you got to take advantage of that value and take the under. So we talked about Beasley being inflated. We talked about Brunson. We're getting that discount at the 26.5. All of these plays we cannot get on Prizepicks, but we can get on Betr. We need one more for you guys here to lock in, and I'm going to find it right now and then pull it up on stream. So if you're enjoying the stream, guys, we got 60 likes, 87 people in here. Hit the like button, guys. Let's get this thing up to 70 likes. It should be very easy to do. And then I will drop the full 5-pick dynamic play here on Betr, and then I'll get out of here. Head on over to the VIP and find some more value if you want to join over there. We got these games tipping off at 7:30, so there should be some more time to find some more plays over there. What about Chet? Should I go under 15.5? No, you should go under 16.5 and over 15.5 is what I had earlier. So if you're seeing him at 15.5, I'd lean the over. If you're seeing him at 16.5, I'd lean the under. And let me just make sure I'm not lying to you that nothing's changed, but I know that was the fact earlier. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty neutral at 15.5 now. Really, the good play was the under 16.5. I did have some interest in the over at 15.5 earlier. It looks like the market's kind of flattening out on that. So, yeah, to answer your question, honestly, he was at 16.5 earlier. There was some pretty good value in the under. I locked that in on Betr. Is he at 16.5 on Betr still? We could certainly discuss that play. I don't think he is. No, he's down to 15.5. Yeah, so 15.5 is kind of meh. I'd probably stay away, man, at that number. 16.5, there's good value on the under. I guess you could take the over 15.5, but it's not looking quite as pretty to me right now. So let's find one more play on Betr that we can't get on Prizepicks and lock in here together to end the stream. Everybody get your phones out. Betr is on mobile only. So we're all going to be locked in on our phones here. And I just need one more, man. Just need one more. Brunson, we liked. It looks like all of these plays that I'm on have been bumped. Here's one. Kyrie, points and assists. And we will discuss what I like here shortly. If you're someone that's proactive and you're listening closely, you can go to the Kyrie points and assists on Betr. and I'll tell you whether I like the over or under as soon as I just send it to my VIP and give them like 30 seconds to lock in here. Points and assists. All right, so I got 5 picks here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be a 5-pick dynamic play on Betr. All right, guys. I know you can't see it on the screen right now. It's because I don't have my screencast plugged in. I'll pull it up as soon as I send this to the Discord, and you will be able to see and lock in with me. All right. So they let me put up to $50. That is my unit size because it's the most they'll allow me to do, and I'm being responsible with my bankroll. If you're someone that has a smaller bankroll, you know, you can do all the way down to $1. And once again, if you'd like to go ahead and pick your 2 favorites or your 3 favorites for your first play, your new user, you can use that KJKDFS promo code for that $250 sweat-free option. Just try to get some bankroll, and then if you lose, you just get the money back in credit. Then you can keep playing the 5-pick and the 6-pick dynamics. All right, so let's lock this bad boy in. Place. Send the Discord. We got that 60 like goal, so I will be pulling it up on the screen here in 60 seconds because I'm sending into them right now. So give me a solid 60 seconds, guys, and you will see it with me. Get these 4 ready, right? And then we'll have the 5th. It'll be the points and assists on Kyrie. And we'll discuss where I like the over or under here shortly. And yes, KJK DFS live stream. Betr ticket. Perfect. Just other than them. If you have any questions, now would be a great time to ask them in the chat. I'll do my best to answer them. Let me just scan real quick, see if there's any that I missed. My Durant at 41.5. Yes, I covered that. So the fantasy scores are different. The fantasy scoring format's different on Prizepicks and Betr Picks, guys. Do not just take my Prizepicks fantasy score picks on Betr Picks. It's 2 points for blocks of steals. Might not seem like a huge deal to you guys, but it really is, man. You got to know the scoring format on the site you're playing. It's very critical. What else do we have? Brunson is reduced. Yes, you can take advantage of the Brunson. I took Josh Hart points. He's been playing good. Yeah, I'd prefer his fantasy on Prizepicks. His points is looking kind of meh for me earlier. I was looking at it. Are you dropping Underdog? I don't know if you're in my Discord, but man, Underdog, I have to travel now to place because they have gone ahead and removed it in one of the Carolinas. So you have to go to the other Carolinas to be able to place. So literally when I am placing, I have to travel, which kind of stinks, but I have gone ahead and sucked it up, Buttercup, and continued to do that when I need to provide more value to the VIP because I want to keep giving you underdog plays. But yeah, it's not fun. I do have access to sportsbooks now, which is going to be something I'm planning on possibly providing content and picks for shortly here as well for you that play on FanDuel, DraftKings, all that fun stuff. I haven't been able to do that up until this point, but that might be changing here very shortly. All right. Holy, that's cooked. I don't know who you are, but I don't know what you mean, man, but I do pretty well on Betr. I've done very well. If you go to my YouTube community page, you'll see a lot of winning tickets. I've withdrew, I believe, $5,000 and $4,000 in the last like week and a half, 2 weeks or so, playing all $50 units. So I'm doing quite well on their app. And I'm using the same principles and concepts that I discuss on these streams. So let's do it, man. Let's pull up this full 5-pick dynamic play and let's lock in together. Let's see. All right, we have the Denny Avdija under 9.5 rebounds. As you can see, there's good value on the under. Prizepicks has gone ahead and bumped it down to 9.0 even. We can't even get that value on Prizepicks. So The reason is because there's good value on it. Jalen Brunson over 26.5 points is the next play. There's really good value on his over at that number. He's up to 27.5 on Prizepicks. Malik Beasley under 12.5 points. Good value on the under 12.5 on his points prop at that number, right? He's down to 11.5 on Prizepicks. That's really where he should be. The market's mostly listing him at 11.5. 12.5 is too inflated. Take advantage of the under. We got Paul Reed under 18.5 PRA. As you can see, he's at 17.5 on Prizepicks. That is where he should be listed. Market's listing him at 17.5. Better's listed him a little bit too high here today. An entire higher point on the PRA prop, so take advantage of that. And the last one's going to be Kyrie Irving under 36.5 points and assists. Once again, the entire market's listing him pretty much at 35.5, right? 36.5 is too high. He's at 35.5 on Prizepicks. That's where he should be listed. 36.5 is a bit too high, so the value is going to be on the under there. So this is a 5-pick dynamic play. That's the type of ticket you should be playing on this one, right? And the payout breakdown, it's going to be 10x your money if we go 5 for 5. If we get 4 to 5 right, it's going to be 2.5x your money, okay? So just to explain kind of how that works with their payout structure. If you would, please let me know if you got this full 5-pick dynamic play locked in. There's no bumps. That'd be greatly appreciated, just so I know everyone was able to lock it in before I hop off the stream here. I'll pull up the Prizepicks 6-pick flex as well before I head off the stream, so I can ensure everyone kind of sees that one more time. So here's the rundown. It's a 5-pick dynamic play, guys. Only play 5-pick dynamic play and 5-pick dynamic plays and 6-pick dynamic plays on Betr Picks. It's similar to Prizepicks, where 5-pick and 6-pick flexes are the exact same implied odds per individual leg. Same thing. So you want to be playing all 5-pick dynamic and 6-pick dynamic. Kyrie Irving under 36.5 points and assists. He should be at 35.5, too high. Paul Reed under 18.5 PRA. Once again, he should be at 17.5. He's too high. Malik Beasley under 12.5 points. He should be at 11.5. He's too high on Betr Picks, so we want to take advantage of the value on the under there. We got the over 26.5 points on Jalen Brunson. 27.5 on Prizepicks. He's at 27.5, 26.5 in the market. 26.5, there's value on the over. And we got the Denny Avdija under 9.5 rebounds. As you can see, he's been bumped down to 9.0 even on Prizepicks. There's no pushes on Betr Picks, so we can take advantage of that value. Use the promo code KJKDFS to get a $250 sweat-free entry. And if I were to pick 2 here, like for my sweat-free, if I really had to pick, man, I mean, it's pretty tough, but they're all good plays. Like, I really don't know who I'd pick because they're all one entire point off in the market. Outside of Denny, that 9.5, he's at a push. That's only a half off on the rebounds. But honestly, I'll probably let you guys decide because they're all good, really solid props with an entire point off. So if you did want to run a 2-pick, I was going to give you 2, but I don't really think you can go wrong. Denny Avdija, there's some massive juice on the under on Sharp Sportsbooks at the 9.5. So take advantage of that. Let me know once you locked in, guys, if you would, please. Please let me know. Use that promo code KJKDFS to get that better no sweater option. Why not? Take advantage on your first entry. And if you just tuned into the stream and you missed the Prizepicks 6-pick flex, this is what we locked in on Prizepicks today on the stream. Kevin Durant under 45.5. Jason Tatum under 45.5. Tatum under 49.5. Maxey under 40.5. Lillard over 40.5. Gafford over 27.5. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 30.5 points. And I'm going to get out of here. If you're interested in my premium, my VIP, my Discord, it is on Patreon, guys. You purchase it through Patreon for payment processing and security reasons. You link your Discord, and you're going to get access to every single one of my tickets as soon as I place them for all sports that I cover, all apps. When you see me talking NBA on the channel, MLB, college basketball, whatever the case may be, I'm offering those plays every single day over there nonstop. And if you go to my YouTube community page, you'll see a lot of the sweeps. I like to post those. I like to give a bunch of shout outs whenever possible. This was our last one on Betr Picks. I'll give some shout outs to some VIP members right now, actually, before I head out, just because I do want to show you guys like people are actually winning. And I'm actually sending these tickets, right? So the Kessler under PRA, the Clarkson under points and assists, The third one's covered up there. I don't even know. Zubac, Gobert, and Maxey, right? But members actually cashing in with that same exact one. First, shout out to JoJo Drifts 93 using that same ticket, $5 into 150. The Nembhard, the Zubac, the Maxey, the Clarkson, all those plays, right? We had Vince 28 cashing in as well on that ticket. The Maxey, Zubac, Gobert, Nembhard, Clarkson, Kessler. There's a good chance that maybe a bump occurred and I provided a pivot, being that I'm seeing some Nembhard and some tickets, right? And I had, or maybe, oh, that's who it is behind my logo. It is Nembhard. Sorry, it's against OKC at OKC. You can see there. So 5 into 100 here for Mr. Vince 28. So shout out to you, Vince. Cash in on that as well. We had Martin 4-6 as well, turning 50 into 1,000 with the big one. That's what I like to see, Martin. Congrats on that. Using that 20x multiplier, once again, same ticket. So this was our big winner a couple nights ago, right? We're not going to sweep every ticket, but the sweeps are where the profit kicks in. You multiply your money big time. And then you play optimally long term, you're going to profit, right? So Ricky 24 with a nice 10 into 200. Shout out to Ricky on that same ticket. We had No Limit J-Wash cashing in as well, I believe. Or maybe he's showing a sweat on one of those tickets, but he cashed on this one. 40 into 800. So, guys, the membership's $49.99 a month. I mean, this man has already paid for his membership and then some, a ton. So that's obviously the goal, right? I want to provide more value than what you're paying for. Otherwise, people aren't going to be happy with me, which is understandable. That's the goal. And then this was mine, right? The 50 into 1,000. And the list goes on here, right? So shout out Sniper Chaos. He's big into the CS2 here, soccer winners. But anyways, if you're interested, would love to have you join over there. There's a lot more value to be offered. I won 600 off, $30 for my first slip with Betr off KJK picks. Go jump in the cord. Thank you, Joseph. That is awesome, man. What's your username in the Discord? Let me know. Locked in on Betr. Locked in. All right, cool. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. Wishing you all the best of luck on your Prizepicks player props, your Betr Picks player props, and we'll see you in the next one. Good luck, good luck, good luck, good luck, good luck, good luck, good luck.